Hello, this is Opinion Radar, and as a busy mom who's always looking for meaningful ways to connect with my kids through creativity, I'm always excited to find a craft that's more than just busy work. Lately, we've been dreaming in color, tiny details, and a little bit of kitchen science, all thanks to a surprising hit in our home, the Ooly DIY shrinking art kit. If you've ever wished for a project that sparks imagination, encourages focus, and results in something truly personal and lasting, this one might just be it. It's not often I find an activity that turns ordinary afternoons into something magical, where the oven becomes part of the art process and the end result feels like a tiny treasure. Today, I'm sharing how this simple kit brought big joy to our family and why it may be perfect for yours too. Let me tell you about one of the most fun, no fuss craft activities we've done recently, the Ooly DIY shrinking art kit. Let me tell you about one of the most fun, no fuss craft activities we've done recently, the Ooly DIY shrinking art kit. As a mom of two craft loving kids, I'm always on the hunt for something creative that won't leave me cleaning up a mess for hours afterward. This 28-piece set was such a pleasant surprise. It comes with 20 pre-cut plastic charms in the cutest shapes, like stars, rainbows, unicorns, and animals that the kids can color in and then bake to shrink into mini masterpieces. There are also keychains, cords, and beads included, so they can turn their art into wearable jewelry or little decorations. What I love most is how everything is ready to go. No scissors needed, no complicated prep. Just pull it out, grab some colored pencils, and the creativity starts flowing. My 7-year-old sat at the kitchen table for a solid hour completely focused, which, as any parent knows, is a win in itself. We had our first shrinking session on a rainy Saturday when everyone was bouncing off the walls with energy. I was desperate for something to keep them busy and calm them down a bit, and this kit ended up being the perfect solution. I liked how easy it was to jump right in. The instructions are simple enough for a kid to follow with minimal help. We used our good quality colored pencils. I did have the same slight hesitation a few of us moms do about heating plastic in the oven, but I followed the advice I've heard. Bake on a lined baking sheet, keep the oven vent open, and give it time to air out after. Honestly, we didn't smell a thing, and that put my mind at ease. Watching the pieces curl and then flatten in the oven was almost like magic. My daughter squealed when she saw her rainbow pendant shrink down and pop back into shape. It's not just crafting, it's science and art rolled into one, and the kids don't even realize they're learning. One of the standout things for me is how inclusive and age flexible this activity is. My younger one is only 5 and still coloring inside the lines is a challenge, but the charm shapes are big enough that he could manage and feel proud of his work. Meanwhile, my older daughter took her time, blending colors like a little artist. She even made a gradient sunset on a star. I actually joined in too. Okay, I may have gotten a little too into it, and I was amazed at how vibrant the colors stayed after shrinking. It really brings out that professional looking finish. We ended up making a whole set of keychains, some for us, others as little handmade gifts for grandparents. It's one of those rare activities that keeps both kids and adults engaged. My husband even sat down during one round and made a tiny dinosaur pendant. He said it was oddly satisfying. Of course, like any craft project, it's not totally flawless, and I want to be honest about that. We did have a few pieces that curled up more than they should have in the oven, especially when one of us got distracted, okay? Guilty me, and left them in a bit too long. They still worked, but they weren't perfectly flat, which matters if you're using them as pendants. The trick we learned is to watch them closely during the shrinking phase and pull them out the second they stop moving. If they cool too much in a curled state, they stay that way. But the good news is you can pop them back in for a few seconds to soften and flatten. Also, while most of the pieces shrank beautifully and kept their color, one or two seem to not shrink as much as others. It might depend on how evenly you color, or maybe slight variations in oven temperature. It didn't ruin the fun, but it's something to keep in mind if you're looking for perfectly uniform results every single time. I love that this kit is a fantastic option for more than just a one-time activity. We've used it for a rainy afternoon, yes, but it's also perfect for birthday party crafts, holiday projects, imagine mini shrink art ornaments, or even as a thoughtful homemade gift. My daughter recently made little animal charm necklaces for her friends' birthdays, and they were such a hit. For the price, around $12, this feels like a great value, especially since it kept all three of us entertained for hours and gave us lasting keepsakes. You're not just buying a craft, you're buying time, creativity, and those special moments of connection. And it's not messy. No paint spills, no glue everywhere. The pre-cut shapes mean no stress over cutting tiny details, which is a relief for younger kids or less patient parents. Cough me again. If you're looking for a screen free, engaging, and creative project that sparks joy and imagination, I truly recommend giving the Ooly Shrinking Art Kit a try. It's not just about the end result, though, let's be real. Those tiny, colorful charms are adorable, but about the experience of making something together. It's one of those rare crafts where the process feels like play but ends with something real and beautiful. There's a tiny learning curve, sure, and a few pieces might not turn out perfect, but that's part of the fun. It teaches kids and us that not everything has to be flawless to be special. Plus, seeing their pride when they say, I made this, is worth every second. I know I'll be buying this again for rainy days, for visits with grandparents, and just because making magic together is something we never want to stop doing. If you're ready to turn little hands into tiny artists and create keepsakes that spark joy, grab the Ooly Shrinking Art Kit and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe because every masterpiece deserves an audience, and I'll keep bringing you crafts that make magic around our table too.